it up. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today I have something a little bit out of the ordinary, but something you definitely need when it comes to your pedals. Now, most of us have a number of the 9-volt power supplies going into each individual pedals. Some of us even have the fancy daisy chain, so you have one. But what happens when you have pedals that have multiple power needs? What happens when you have pedals that are 12 volt or even 18 volt? Or in my case, I have a couple devices that are USB powered. I have to run separate cables for each of those. This is the Azor power supply. And right now we're going to do an unboxing and I'm going to show you a superior way to power all of your pedals. Let's take a look at what's in the box. All right. First thing you see is your power supply manual. Open it up. There's not much to it. Obviously just a fold out, but gives you an idea of how to run it. Most of our cables are the center polarity negative, but this does have included one of the cables to switch the polarity. So you do have that going for you. And here is the actual unit. Let's get it out of the packaging. Look at that. We have the Azor power supply. Link will be in the description below, but here's the nice thing. We have 10 outputs for it, just for the power. And look, you have a USB output, so you can power it that way. But one nice thing to notice, there's different designations. So four of the DC outputs are 100 milliamp outputs. What that is going to help out with is some of the pedals are going to have a lower power requirement than others, and that's what you can use there. You then have 3 of them that actually have a 300 milliamp output for some of the higher output or higher power needs, and then 1 that has a 500 milliamp output. Additionally, if you look at the last 2, you have a 12 volt output as well as an 18 volt output. Jumping over here, you also have a USB. I like this because on my pedal board, I actually use the iPad. I use GarageBand in iPad for a lot of messing around. And this just allows me to plug in, and I'm not worried about the iPad losing power while I'm playing, while I'm recording and messing around. This can power it all. It can power up to 8 pedals with the normal 9 volt requirements and 2 pedals with either 12 or 18 volts. On the bottom, it's nice and smooth. So I'm just going to use the same Velcro I mount my pedals to the pedal board and mount this to the underside of my pedal board. Within the other box, get this out of the way, we have some more goodies. All right, first and foremost, you have your power supply for the power supply. Then you have a number of cables. Let's get these just unboxed and just show an example of each of them. All right, here we go. Look at this. So you have both a straight as well as 90-degree adapter, so you can use whichever side you want on there. Let me go in here. I like this. You know, one thing I've noticed is some of the pedals, some of the power supplies I've received, the connectors are a little bit loose. That may not seem like a big deal and it may work, but I've noticed that it also will go in there and actually knock the pedal offline. Not a big deal if you're not recording or not gigging, but if I have one pedal that if it goes offline, the signal dies right there and it dies immediately. Also, here's one more thing to show. We have this, let's see if I can get it nice and in focus, this 3.5mm plug-in. In order to get this, you would just add it to the end. This is perfect because I have a wah pedal that is does not have the traditional style power adapter, so you can do that. But being a standard size, you could also use some of the other power adapter end cables. For example, I have some that mimic the 9-volt battery connection, and you could plug that onto the end. Finally, if you have a pedal that requires the polarity to be reversed, this is actually a reversing cable. So just like the other connections, you simply plug it onto the end and you now have a reverse polarity. This comes with enough cables to power everything. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you actually have an extra one. So if you happen to break one, you're not out of luck looking for a cable. You have 11 cables in there. You also have 2 of the adapters. So these adapters will work with anything. All right, here's the underside of my $5 pedal board. And this is where the power supply is going to neatly sit. You'll note that I have a couple strips of Velcro on the bottom just to mount some devices. But first and foremost, I need to get the other Velcro posted and attached to the bottom of the power supply unit. So I've cut it to length. Let's go in and very carefully put it on. Looky there. Nice and neat, and it fits perfect. So now I will be able to take the power supply and mount it right in the middle, and it'll securely stay. Honestly, I'm probably going to get another piece of Velcro, more of the loop side, and have it mounted there just so it's a little more permanent. But there are a couple of features I definitely wanted to point out firsthand. First and foremost, my pedal board is about 2 foot wide. These cables from end to end are just over the length of the pedal board. So this will very easily fit my whole board and be able to power everything I have on the board. So I'll be able to run through here and do all of that. But what I'm really excited for is if I want to hook up my phone, if I want to hook up some sort of other drive, all I need to do is grab my phone with my lovely dog on the front. Look at that, isn't she sweet? Plug into the USB port. Sorry for the extra noise. And now, as long as I have this powered in, my phone has power. So I won't lose power while I'm either using GarageBand or any of the other amp modeling software that I use, Or you could just simply make sure your phone's charged while everything's going on. When I first started grabbing a few extra pedals, I thought I would be excited when I found the daisy chain. But the problem with the daisy chain is you have one plug in there, it doesn't fit quite as well as some of the others. This power supply not only handles that problem, it handles the power problem. What do I mean by power problem? All pedals have different power requirements. What this means is one of the many pedals that I have, for example, if you were to look on the side of a pedal, it will tell you on the box what the power requirement is. Okay, here's what I mean by power requirement. Let's just say, for example, this pedal, and every pedal will tell you either on the back of the pedal or in the instructions what its requirement is. Most all of these small form mini pedals are 9-volt pedals, so you should get away with the 100 milliamp. However, if you go to some of the other pedals, for example, this one has a requirement of over 200 milliamps, so I have the power to keep it going without any drain. And even my large digital delay, even my large old wah pedal with the much higher power requirements, I'll be able to ensure that it is properly powered and I don't have any loss of signal, any issues while I'm playing, while I'm recording. And that, first and foremost, is very important. Like I said, there's a link in the description below, and I want to thank Azor for supplying this power supply to me. Not only is it appreciated, but I think it'll give us a much better, much easier way to review these pedals. It'll allow me to use not only the 9-volt pedals, but the 12 and 18-volt pedals. I know some pedals that are able to run on 9 volts, but you can't fully utilize everything until you have the 18 volts. This is Jeff with the Riffs and Ride channel. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the link in the description below. Also, if you enjoy reviews like this, click on the subscribe button and the bell notification to be notified when new reviews are out there. Thanks again and take care.